Welcome to A New Eden. I'm Rachel, and today we're going to explore biblical wisdom through the lens of archetypes, tarot, and soul growth. I encourage you to take what resonates and leave whatever does not. Before we begin, let's take a moment to arrive. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it out. Allow your shoulders to soften and allow yourself to become fully present. As we spend this time together, I invite you to stay curious. Pay attention to what stirs something up within you and trust that the messages that are meant for you will find you. Now, let's explore what themes and lessons may be emerging for us this week. One theme that kept emerging while I was sitting with this energy was discernment. Not action, not manifestation, not pushing harder. Discernment. This feels like a week where a lot of us are feeling like we're hanging out in that space in between. Like the old answer no longer fits, and the new answer, that hasn't even fully arrived yet. And there are possibilities on the horizon, ideas that are pulling at our attention. We want to move forward, and yet something is asking us to slow down, to listen more carefully, to resist the urge to rush forward before wisdom has had a chance to even speak to us. Yeah, there is movement in the air, there is momentum, possibility, but what kept coming through is this: not every open door is an invitation. Just because something is available does not mean that it is aligned. Just because something excites us does not mean it's ours. And just because we can move doesn't mean we should. This feels like a week to slow down enough to hear our own wisdom. It's important for us to separate what's real from what just seems appealing and distinguish what feeds our fear and what feeds our soul. Because clarity is available, but no, it's not found through rushing. It's found through listening. And sometimes when we're looking for wisdom, it helps to borrow the eyes of someone who's walked this path before, like King Solomon. I think that there is something in his story that can really help us feel into this energy this week and to make decisions coming from a more certain, solid part of ourselves. So this story begins when Solomon becomes king. One night, God appears to him in a dream and offers him something pretty spectacular. He tells Solomon that he can have anything he wants, like anything. Just imagine that for a moment. Wealth, power, victory over his enemies, recognition, security, and influence. Every possibility was placed before him. And Solomon's response is, instead of asking for more, he asks for wisdom. He asks for the ability to distinguish between what is right and what is just like attractive, and what's true and what seems like it might be true. He asks for discernment. And because he sought wisdom first, everything flowed from that foundation. I think that's the invitation for us this week. Not to go out chasing the loudest opportunity or forcing an answer. Not to choose because we're just tired of waiting, but to seek wisdom first. To trust that the right path does not require us to abandon ourselves in order to walk it. And if we're being honest with ourselves, that is so much easier said than done. Because most of us aren't struggling to choose between something obviously right and obviously wrong. More often, we're trying to choose between several kind of good options, several paths that seem like they all might work. And that's where this week's deeper lesson begins. Discernment isn't just knowing what we want. It's about understanding why we want it, becoming aware of the part of us that's making that decision. Are we choosing from trust, or are we choosing from fear? Are we moving towards something because it's aligned, or because we're just too uncomfortable where we are right now? This week, it's important for us to feel into the difference between choosing from alignment and choosing from lack. Because when we feel uncertain or scared or lonely or uncomfortable, there can be a strong temptation to make a decision simply to escape that feeling, to just pick a door because we're tired of standing in the hallway, or to take an opportunity because we're afraid that another one will never come along, or it might even get worse. And then we settle. But decisions made from lack rarely create fulfillment. This week invites us to pause before we react and to ask ourselves, am I moving towards something because it is truly aligned? Or am I moving because I want relief from discomfort? Because those are very different motivations. And doing the right thing coming from the wrong energy is still doing the wrong thing. One creates clarity and the other creates confusion. One comes from trust and the other comes from fear. The invitation this week is for us to trust that we do not have to force what is meant for us. We don't have to grasp. We don't have to chase. We do not have to make fear-based decisions because we're uncomfortable. The most spiritual thing that we can do is sit in the uncertainty long enough for the wisdom to arrive. What if the answer isn't hidden in one of the cups? What if the answer is hidden in the discomfort that is making us want to reach for one? The moment we stop reacting is the moment we finally gain access to our wisdom. And this week's journal prompt is, where in my life am I seeking relief instead of alignment? Notice where you might be trying to rush a decision or where you're searching outside of yourself for certainty. Then ask yourself, if I truly trusted that what is meant for me cannot miss me, what would I be doing differently? Allow yourself to write freely without judgment and without needing an immediate answer. And this week's mantra is, I choose wisdom over urgency and alignment over relief. Whenever fear tells you to rush, whenever uncertainty becomes uncomfortable, whenever you feel pressure to decide before you're ready, pause, take a breath, and return to this truth. I choose wisdom over urgency and alignment over relief. And thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated and you're looking for support navigating your own season of growth, this is the work I love most. My gift and my passion is helping people reconnect with the wisdom of their own soul and deepen their connection to the divine, and to gain clarity about the path that they are here to walk. Together, we explore patterns and lessons and opportunities unfolding in your life so you can move forward with greater confidence, guidance, purpose, and alignment. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you'll find all of my offerings through the link in my bio, or the description, or the show notes, depending on where you're receiving this message. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, trust your wisdom, and remember, not every open door is an invitation. The right path will never require you to abandon yourself in order to walk it. I'll see you next week.